many good things happening on Main Streets and downtowns across the Magnolia State. So today we're going to highlight what's happening downtown this weekend. It is brought to you by the Mississippi Main Street Association. Don't forget, you can always, any day, go to msmainstreet.com/calendar to get more information on upcoming events. And Canton is inviting you for this weekend for one of the South's original and finest arts and crafts shows. And it's happening this Thursday, not this weekend. I retract that because if you show up Saturday, they're all going to be gone. But it's happening tomorrow. That's October the 13th. It features unique handcrafted arts and crafts vendors, quality fine art and below gallery prices, boutiques and antique stores around the historic square there in Canton. There's convenient parking throughout the city. If you are into crafts, if you're into finding those unique antique items, then you need to come to the Canton Flea Market. It only happens twice a year. This is the Fall Spectacular. And take advantage of this excellent shopping opportunity, some great weather, walkable shopping arena there at the flea market, as well as Canton's surrounding merchants. So you're not going to want to miss that coming up tomorrow. Now, in the Delta, you are kicking off tomorrow, too, the 14th Annual Delta Hot Tamale Festival. And joining us to share a little bit more and highlight this great event is Main Street Cleveland's Daniel Boggs, along with Chef David Cruz, to talk hot tamales. Hey, guys.
Hey, Rebecca. How's it going?
It's going good. It's good to talk about this wonderful event. I love the history that back in, 2012, Daniel, the Greenville mayor, declared Mississippi to be the hot tamale capital of the world. Give us a little history about how Cleveland became the hot tamale capital of the world.
Well, it's Greenville, so we're about 30 or 40 miles south of Cleveland, but it's Main Street, Greenville. And it's actually, without evidence, not without evidence, because as a product of the Southern Foodway Alliance, they actually did a tamale trail project. And in that, they actually said that Greenville, Mississippi, per capita, maintains one of the largest concentrations of tamale makers. So with that, we felt, hey, we're always looking to have a good time. We said, why not capitalize on this? Let's do a hot tamale festival. But to solidify it, let's get the mayor, Chuck Jordan, at that time to proclaim us as the hot tamale capital of the world. If we're proud of this designation, let's go ahead and, proudly stake our flag in the ground. And it has just grown ever since. The first year, great help from Steve Azar and Emerson Hart the first year, which is the lead singer for Tonic. We took up one city block, and we had about 5,000 people at that first event. Fast forward to 2021, the economic impact study showed that we had just north of 32,000 people from 16 different states and 4 separate countries, and we had a total economic impact of $7.2 million, and we took up 6 city blocks. So, we've been truly blessed with the partners that have been able to help us with this event. Even Chef Cruz that's on the call with us today, to kind of highlight the cultural assets that we have here in the Mississippi Delta. And I'll tell you, it's been a great ride for us.
Well, Daniel, thank you for correcting me. Yes, Greenville absolutely needs the spotlight for this. Every city in the Delta has its great events, but the Hot Tamale Festival belongs to Greenville, along with hot tamales. Now, Chef Cruz, what makes a tamale, and why is it considered a Mississippi staple?
I love that question because I get this question a whole lot. What kind of makes a tamale is a blending the Mississippi hot tamale is a blending of cultures. It's not just the normal tamale that you think of if you're in Mexico. It is a blending of the African-American, the Italian, the Mexican, everybody kind of coming together and solidifying what we know of as the hot tamale. And I actually did a talk last year right after I can't even remember who was speaking first. And this was the entire thought process of what is a hot tamale. And fun facts are, Greenville, Mississippi still holds the record of having the most hot tamale makers. And the cool thing is when you come to try their hot tamales, no two are alike. And I love that fact because of the fact that everybody puts their culture into what makes the perfect hot tamale.
And they're made out of simple ingredients, right? So I'm always impressed, Chef, whenever you can take something like a tamale that's fairly simplistic in what it's made up, but yet you can change the flavors and you can definitely tell that they're different tamales, but you don't know why or sort of how it can make such an impact. So will we get to taste a lot of tamales when we come to the festival?
Daniel could probably answer that because I know they've got lots and lots of tamale makers that will be selling tamales. Daniel, you want to kind of jump in on that?
Yeah, no, I will, Dave. Thank you for that. So let me tell you, we actually created an event 6 years ago for that specific purpose, and I'm going to give credit to my dad for this because in 2015, and again, we're shaping up to be the largest festival that we've ever seen in the Mississippi Delta in regards to the Delta Hot Tamale Festival. And we were very fortunate to get Chapel Hart secured 2 weeks ago. So they're even going to be playing at the festival this year. But the most tamale makers that we've had at this festival was 19 prior to this year. We have 23 coming in this year. But so whenever you go to a tamale, and David's right, everybody's different. Everybody puts their own spin on it. And we actually interviewed a lot of these chefs, and you said, what's your secret ingredient? And they're like, well, it's love or it's, passion. I mean, they won't actually tell you what's in it. But every tamale is different. But in 2015, I was walking down the fairway with my father, and whenever you go to these vendors, they're going to try to sell it to you in the half dozen or the full dozen. He said, well, which one should I try? And, of course, I was kind of giving him some ideas of, this one's a little spicy. This is a little bit more traditional. And he said, I wish that I could try at least one of each. And I said, well, that's a great idea. So we actually created something called Flavors of the Festival to where people who come in, and again, we love tracking this information, about 60% of the people that come to the Hot Tamale Festival have never tried a hot tamale.
Wow.
What we do is we actually purchase these from these vendors, from these tamale makers, or at least participate in the tasting contest. And we're only able to do 180 tickets each year just because it is very labor intensive. But you can actually come to this event for $30. You can actually try, this year is 9 different tamales. And we're going to pair those with some craft beers. And you can actually try the different types of tamales that they have out there. And whenever you try that one, then you get to decide which one's your favorite, and you get to go buy a dozen from that vendor. You can taste a lot of them, but again, if you go to the vendor, they're going to want to sell it to you, half a dozen or a dozen at a time.
Chef, I think the reason why that number's so high, which is kind of shocking to me, that many people coming to the Hot Tamale Festival had never tasted hot tamales, or maybe even Mississippians, is because when you first see them, they're kind of intimidating. You don't know how to eat them. So first, if you're not told, right? Like it's not, you just sort of self-explanatory. You're like, what do I do with this? So how do you explain to people that, maybe have never had a half dozen of hot tamales? Like, how do you eat it? What do you do with it?
Well, I'll tell you this. There's a lot of different ways, and a lot of people will tell you. I have seen people actually bite the husk and eat it like a popsicle. I have seen people like my wife that will unwrap all of them and then eat them. And I'm one of these people that unwraps them one at a time. So, there's no right or wrong way. But I will tell you this from the standpoint of a good vendor, they will explain to you kind of the best way to go about eating it a lot of the times if you'll ask them. And, that's kind of one of the things about food. A lot of people think food is intimidating. If you'll ask the person that has made it, they know in their mind exactly how they want you to eat it. So don't be scared. Ask questions. Say, hey, what's the best way to eat this? And 99% of the people will steer you in the right way.
I like mine with a little hot sauce and a saltine cracker. Am I wrong?
No, ma'am, you are correct.
Well, let me
go
ahead and stand corrected on that. Now, so that's the way that I prefer it. But I will tell you, we had a lady one year. Her name was Mama Rodriguez, and she does a traditional hot tamale, and she has claimed that her tamale recipe is actually in the Smithsonian. But she, wow. She actually criticized that one time and said, you guys can't put that red gravy on top of that hot tamale festival. You got to eat it pure. And that's a good thing. Like I said, at the Flavors of the Festival, we do allow you to actually try a traditional tamale, and we let you try a true Delta hot tamale. So there are a lot of ways to eat it, but I agree with you. Saltine and hot sauce is the best way to me.
You mentioned, Daniel, that those are limited tickets. Where can we get the tickets for the tasting? So is it separate than the event?
Yeah, so we actually only have 2 ticketed events, and again, I want to thank our sponsors, for keeping this event free. They allow us to keep this event free, but there are 2 ticketed events, and that's the welcome dinner on Thursday night, which Chef Cruz helps us out with so graciously, a multi-course meal that's inspired by a theme, and also the tamale tasting event, which is going to happen between 11 and 2 on Saturday for the big crowd. But if you go to mainstreetgreenville.com, you'll see a tab that says Delta Hot Tamale Festival, and you can go on there and actually purchase your tickets to that tasting event. We only have a few left, but it is a very popular event.
Well, we've got
a lot of people really seem to like it.
I've got more tamale questions, more tamale talk. Can y'all hang on?
Sure.
Absolutely.
All right, we got more with the upcoming Tamale Festival in Greenville, Mississippi, coming up next. We all know there's so many good things happening on main streets and downtowns across the Magnolia State. And today we're highlighting the Delta Hot Tamale Festival in Greenville, Mississippi. It kicks off tomorrow and it goes through the weekend. And joining us from Main Street Greenville is Mr. Daniel Boggs, along with Chef David Cruz, who I hear you're connected with the welcome dinner. So I want to talk about the welcome dinner. Chef, either you can go or Daniel sort of share what's coming up with that.
I'm going to let the chef run with this one. He drives the bus on this one. He has helped us out numerous years. This is something that's been going on since year 2, and he does a great job of spearheading that welcome dinner for us. So I'm going to defer to him.
Chef, what's on the
Thank
menu?
you, Daniel.
Yeah.
Well, so when we start doing these events, one of the first things that I always talk to Daniel about is I'm a big theme guy. I like to figure out, how we can tie all the ingredients together and how we can tie the entire dinner together. And when Daniel and I first started talking, I said, how fun would it be to do a kind of a play on what a tamale is, which is a merger of both the Mexican culture and the Delta culture. So we got together, and Daniel kind of gave me the go-ahead, and it's a 6-course meal, blending both the Mexican culture and the Delta culture. So we'll have 2 past appetizers, and everybody will sit down, and we'll have 4 courses. The 4 plated courses are really fun. It's a smoked catfish enchilada, and then we've got a grilled cabbage, basically a grilled cabbage salad with an elotes, which is just like grilled corn and cheeses. And then a chili colorado, which is kind of what we know of as chili, but more of the Mexican view of it. And then dessert is a tres leches, which is a 3-milk cake. But we went one step further, and we did a spicy chocolate cake. And then it has a white chocolate ganache and fresh strawberries. So it's going to be yum.
Yum is right. So are those, I'm sure those tickets are going fast too, Daniel. Are there any left?
We do actually have a few left. This is, one of those things we have to cap it at 185 tickets just because that's pretty much our capacity. And we do have it here at our historic boutique hotel, Hotel 27, which our nonprofit purchased last year here in downtown Greenville. And again, the proceeds of the Hot Tamale Festival help to the revitalization efforts of our downtown community. And again, so we put this welcome dinner on in the courtyard of this hotel. But at 185 is kind of the capacity we have in regards to seating. I would probably say we have 25 or 30 tickets left. But they are, as always, they fly off the shelf last minute, but you can also purchase those at the website, mainstreetgreenville.com.
I'm glad you brought up Hotel 27. I saw where Mississippi Main Street Association had kind of highlighted Main Street Greenville for Hotels 27 as an outstanding economic impact. So are there still rooms available if we're wanting to plan a quick trip up to Greenville this weekend for the festival? Can we still maybe take advantage of the hotel or Airbnbs? Is there anything left in the city for us to be able to come and stay and enjoy?
There might be some plots of land where you can throw up a tent, but I'll be quite honest with you. This festival, so the hotel is only 36 rooms. We have been booked for well over 4 months. We actually the festival has not even started this year, but we already have bookings for next year's festival at the hotel. And I'm really glad that you said that. We are very proud of this hotel. And as Chef Cruz will tell you, we're very proud of our culture here. And again, with the theme, our music, our crafts, our food, it all really centers around this culture that we have in the Mississippi Delta. But Hotel 27, whenever we were given the option to purchase it, we actually called Mississippi Main Street and we said, hey, we're thinking about this. And they said, well, look, actually, there's 2 other main streets that own a hotel. They just haven't opened them yet. So, we analyzed it, looked at it, and it's the only historic boutique hotel in Greenville, Mississippi, and we actually renamed it Hotel 27 after the 1927 flood. Again, kind of playing off of the culture and the history that we have here. The largest natural disaster, definitely in Greenville, is not in the country. Because this hotel, part of it was actually the levee board commissioner's office, the levee board's office, whenever the levee broke in 1927. And we actually have documentation that Herbert Hoover, which, I can't remember, he wasn't the president at the time, but he was in some other formal capacity, actually came here and stayed in this building that's now our lobby and helped lay the groundwork for rebuilding the levee that now keeps the Mississippi Delta safe. So we're very proud of the hotel. Reservations are picking up every year, but I'm going to be 100% honest with you. If you're looking to come to the festival, best thing to do is probably reach out to Indianola, Cleveland, or Vicksburg, which I think a lot of people have done. It shortens the drive, but all the hotels in Greenville have been booked for at least 4 months now.
Oh, that's such good news, though. I think that's such a good thing. And if you are going to be in Greenville at any point and you're interested about the flood, y'all have got a great museum that's dedicated to the flood and sort of some other Greenville history and sort of fun facts and times and times in history, should I say. And I had a wonderful time getting lost in there when we were up doing something. I can't remember what brought us to Greenville, but the gentleman, if he still runs it, he's a character in and of himself. And it's worth the kind of getting off the, you know what? I think, Chef Cruz, we were there for one of your pop-ups in the Delta.
It was the Delta Supper Club event, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so you are definitely one who has cooked a lot in the Delta, Chef. So what keeps you focused on highlighting the cuisine, the culture, the people, the buildings there in the Mississippi Delta?
One of the things that I've spent basically my life is traveling around and cooking. And I've always been in love with the Delta. It's kind of one of these things that always draws people back. And I always tell people, if you know somebody from the Delta, it does not matter where you go, you're going to find another Delta person. I've never been anywhere else that I have a connection or heard anybody that has a connection like Delta people do. And it's something that I love, and it's something that I like to share. Yes, we've had our bad stuff, but, we've got a lot of great stuff, too. We've got a lot of great buildings like what Daniel and them have done with 27 and the people that are, investing in downtown and making the Delta strong again. And I think it can be. I think we have seen lots of tourism. I think we'll see more as years come along.
Well, it's all good stuff, Daniel. And so this is all going down. It starts tomorrow. So I know you're a busy man, but where can we go to get the lineup, the agenda? We really even didn't get into the music. You mentioned our girls, the Chapel Heart will be there. When will they take stage if we are looking for making the trip and making the most of it?
Yeah, like us on Facebook, Delta Hot Tamale Festival, and it's very important to put Delta in front of it. There are a lot of hot tamale festivals around the nation, but if you put Delta Hot Tamale Festival in there, it'll take you straight to our Facebook page. We have all the information there. You can also find it at the website, mainstreetgreenville.com. We do kick off tomorrow night, 6 o'clock, with the welcome dinner that will go till 10 o'clock. And then we're going to take a little break, make sure that everything's set up, start right back at 11 o'clock on Friday. We're going to have 2 acts on stage around the lunchtime hour. And then at 2 o'clock, we're shutting it down for a panel discussion because we do like to also highlight our literary history here in the Mississippi Delta. And we got to do some sound checks between that time as well. But at 5 o'clock, kicking it right back up on the main stage, we have 4 bands playing tomorrow night, finishing it off with Chapel Heart, who should take the stage around 9 o'clock. And then 9 o'clock the next morning, Saturday morning, October 15th, we're looking to have a great time with 32,000 of our closest friends. That's what we're expecting in downtown Greenville on that day. And I think we have about 46 bands that are scheduled to play over that 3-day span. So a lot of great food, a lot of great craft, and a lot of great music. Check it all out on Facebook or on our website. Well,
it's going to be a great weekend in the Mississippi Delta, particularly there in Greenville. I know all your neighboring cities look forward to events like this because when one's doing well, bringing in 32,000, then everybody, can celebrate in that. So you guys rest up and get ready and enjoy the ride and have a hot tamale.
Yes, Rebecca, thank you for having us.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I'm standing by my hot sauce, though. I'm going to put some hot sauce on my tamale and with my saltine cracker. Although, if you have enough of them and you've made them at home and you're looking for unique ways to eat them, which you could share with us, how do you like your hot tamale? 601-879-4395. You can get brave, or I don't say brave, but you can get outside of your comfort zone. And my daddy always liked to take one or two and put it on top of a bowl of good chili and sort of mix it in and enjoy it that way. So, or if you've got some leftover, I guess, some kind of stew or whatever. But the chili kind of works a little bit different. And it's just a way, a bowl of chili, 2 hot tamales, a little hot sauce, some saltine crackers. So really isn't anything else better on kind of a fall Mississippi day. Don't forget, too, though, you can always go to msmainstreet.com/calendar. You can get more information on upcoming events in your area, in a downtown or on a Mississippi Main Street near you. Y'all, there's just so much good going on in our state. Get out and take part and enjoy it and celebrate it because, yeah, we need to. It's our neighbors. But stick with us. We got more for you coming up.